Welcome back to another episode of the Hormone Hub podcast, where we talk all things perimenopause, menopause, and have the conversations no one else is having. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Hello, ladies, and welcome back to the Hormone Hub podcast. I'm your host, Kylie Pinwell, and today on the podcast, I have a very beautiful friend of mine, Alex Main. So Alex is a personal trainer and women's health coach. She has a passion for women living pain-free, and a lot of this is associated back, ladies, to our pelvic floor. You've heard me talk about this before, and we're going to share some of my journey, Alex's journey, and, just how important it is that we start looking after our pelvic floor. So no one needs to wee in their pants by mistake. Well, welcome, Alex. It is so good to have you on the podcast. And it's been a long time coming, actually.
I know. Oh, thank you so much for having me, Kylie. It's such a joy to be here with you.
So, Alex, tell us a bit about your background. So you've been working with women's health for, over 15 years. So, just give us a little insight into who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I just love what I do. I think that's the main thing. And over the years, I've worked with lots of different women and realised that there are so many women living with pelvic floor issues, but not really knowing that they've got a pelvic floor issue. And I think the turning point for me was when I was working. I actually moved to Australia and started. I left the UK, the cold UK in search for some sun, and then ended up working in F45. And I saw so many women during workouts that were, like, oh my goodness, I've worn the wrong leggings, or they'd be scurrying off to the toilet to avoid an exercise or needing to pee all the time. But actually that it wasn't that comfortable for them. And, especially if you've got a male trainer, it's not always the conversation you want to be having with them.
I was going to say, your hot 25-year-old male trainer,
yes,
understand that you just weed yourself a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So
I've been there.
I've been there too. And, I just realized that there's solutions, but actually it's getting to grips and understanding your core and pelvic floor better. And your pelvic floor is a muscle. So it's just like any other muscle in the body. You can train it, you can heal it, but we need to connect with it. And I think because we live such busy lives, we don't spend that time connecting with our body. Yeah. So that was my mission. I was like, right, how can I create something and bring awareness and education to women that is accessible and affordable? Because not everyone has the ability to go and see a pelvic floor physio or know where to go or where to start. So that is my mission, is to try and help more women feel confident and, have supersonic pelvic floors.
Absolutely. So we can, get back on that trampoline.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I'm quite there yet, but, we're working on it. So if we sort of roll it back, what does it show up? What does it look like, for someone who may or may not be aware that they might have pelvic floor issues? So how does that sort of even show up in the first place? Or what should, ladies sort of be looking for?
Yeah, so it actually shows up in so many different ways. And I think the thing to remember is pain is your body telling you something. And just because you're experiencing pain, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the root cause of something. Yep. So your body, your skeleton actually floats inside your body, and all of your soft tissues and ligaments hold that skeleton in place. So if you do have tension in one area, it can affect somewhere else. And that is so key with the pelvic floor. So things that I might see is women with chronic back pain, they've got hip pain, little niggles. And, you go and see the chiro, you go and see the physio, the osteo. But until you address the root cause of what's going on, then you're not treating the cause of the problem. And you just feel like you're constantly a patient to someone. So the reason why I say this floating analogy is that you need a holistic approach. And actually, your pelvic floor is part of an integrated system. So we've got to look at the diaphragm, the way you're managing pressure, have you got good glutes? Did we reconnect them after having babies?
Yeah.
All of these muscles surrounding the pelvic floor help to support their function.
Yeah.
So you might experience symptoms such as leaking, painful sex, constipation. There's so many little things that give indicators, even painful feet or a tight jaw.
Yeah.
That's all connected to your pelvic floor. So bringing some awareness to what is your body trying to tell you? What are we doing to our bodies? And then how can we understand them a little bit better and come back and have this holistic approach to our pelvic floor?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's so important, because I remember being told, I think I was it was a menopause workshop, and there was a pelvic physio running the session, and she sort of said, incontinence or, leakage is the second biggest reason that women get admitted to nursing homes.
Yeah.
So the first reason is, dementia, and she said closely followed by incontinence. And that really shocked me, because it was sort of like, well, actually, this can't be just some little secret that we just put up.
Oh.
We actually need to do something proactive about it. And of course, the sooner you do something, the better.
It's never too late. That's the thing.
Well, that's it.
It's never too late. And you're never alone.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So, Alex, what's been your journey with your pelvic floor experience?
Oh gosh, so I come from a background of doing so much exercise. I am probably super flexible and have been since a child. So I was constantly trying to strengthen my body, and I always was told, suck in your tummy, suck in your tummy.
Yep.
So I come from a background of actually having a really tight pelvic floor. And it's not until I delved into this whole world, I discovered so many things about my own body, and I'm so glad that I have.
Yes.
And then I had a very quick birth with my daughter, who's 2 years old, and I ended up having an episiotomy scar. Yep. And you know what it's like, you have your baby and then you have to feed them and all of this stuff, and life happens around you. And I started getting this crazy back pain, and things were, even like using a tampon was just so painful. Yep. And I was like, what is it? And then it came back to my pelvic floor. So this is where working with an amazing pelvic floor physio, as you'll be able to share, I'm sure, Kylie, changed my life. And she was able to release years of tension inside my hips. And it's not something that I could have done myself. I actually needed a bit of external help with that. And now using my methodology, connecting my breath, my core, my pelvic floor, my pelvic floor is actually better than when I was 18 years old. And that's what I want for so many women, is that, just because you might be living with these symptoms and you feel like this is your life story, it's not. It's never too late to fix it.
Yeah, 100%. And, because I do work with women who are, in their 50s, in their 60s, it's not too late, ladies, at all. So how do you now, sort of like as a personal trainer and as a coach, how do you work with women?
So in many different ways, I run workshops, which I absolutely love. I think and something we can share, very exciting.
We've got something coming up.
I run workshops. So I start with education. I do online training. I've also got a 8-week program that women can join and do at home, which is self-paced. And I work one-on-one with my clients. And it's all about bringing it back to this holistic approach. So how are you breathing? If you breathe in, where do you feel your breath? Do you feel like your back's super tight? A lot of us have these diaphragms from shallow breathing all day as we both roll our shoulders back. We're both
sitting our shoulders back.
Yeah. And actually, because the diaphragm and the pelvic floor work in a relationship with each other, your pelvic floor is only as good as your diaphragm. So sometimes we think we have a pelvic floor issue, but it actually might be a diaphragm issue. So working on massage, breathing, connecting that core, and also working with supporting the muscles around it. So reconnecting the glutes, your adductors, the muscles, those inside thigh muscles.
I just started this morning. I'm feeling my adductors.
Well, that makes me very happy.
But they are on fire.
Good. Yeah. So once you sort of bring that balance back to the body, everything that you do becomes more enjoyable. The way you move better, your sleep, all of those things actually have a huge impact. So that's how I work with women. And the more women I can help, the better. better.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll drop all of Alex's details. Her website is The Main Method. So her name is Alex Main, themainmethod.com.au. So we'll drop all of that in the show notes for you. So, there'll be women listening going, yeah, but, I'm too far gone. And I will put my hand up and I actually thought I was too far gone.
Never.
But is it really doom and gloom with our pelvic floor as we get older?
No, it's not. No, it's about seeking the right help and also spending that time with your body. So it might be that you need to start your journey with finding a good pelvic floor physio and getting a one-on-one assessment. And then just looking at how you're connecting to your body. So are we doing Pilates is amazing, but just learning how to get those cues and learning how to connect the breath to movement for me is key, because that connection then strengthens the whole system. And if you don't have that connection and you get to your 80s, if I could get every woman out of a nappy in a nursing home, then we've done something amazing. And you have to remember, it is a muscle, and muscle needs, just like any other muscle in your body, if you don't exercise it, you don't strengthen it, you don't teach it how to lengthen, it's not going to be there to serve you in your 90s. And it's like if you got a child and they did the splits from day one and they kept doing it every single day for the rest of their lives, they'd still be doing it at 90. But as soon as you stop using your joints and your muscles and your movement patterns, you lose them. And your pelvic floor needs that support throughout the rest of its life. So it's definitely not doom and gloom, Kylie.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
And I sort of always say to women, we, regardless of what age you are, if you're in your 40s, if you're in your 50s, if you're in your 60s, and we plan on living, say, until we're 90 or 100, we have another 30, 40, 50 years.
I know. And so, they can be our best years as well.
100%. Yeah. So, if you take away one thing from today's talk, is that it's not too late to do something. And I think, we sort of tend to look for the shortcuts. We look for the, how can we make it easier? But you really do need to do the work,
Yeah. And I also jump in, Kylie, because I think there's been a disservice to women over the years that even when I gave birth to Ollie, I got given this 80s piece of paper with just a hold, squeeze. We got told to do our pelvic floor exercises on the toilet. Ladies, please don't do that. We were doing them at the traffic light. But actually, it's not about that. That actually, when we're moving, we're doing our squats, lunges, deadlifts, Pilates exercises. We do them all day, all these movements, standing up, sitting down. But if we have that awareness and the breath and the pelvic floor exercises happen throughout our day. We don't actually have to sit down and, be like, oh, I need to set 10 minutes to do my pelvic floor exercises, because it doesn't work on its own. It's a system. And that's the key thing that I would love women to take away, that this 80s information is old. We need to move away from that now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does, just that, engaging in everything before you stand up.
Yes. But not holding our breath. Please don't hold your breath.
but using your glutes rather than using your hands to heave you up.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who is a physio, and she said to us years ago, always put your knickers on, stand on one foot and then stand on the other foot, keep your balance. Again, she works in aged care, and she said, to keep our balance and keep that core stability and engage in our glutes, engage in, our abdominal muscles, engage in that pelvic floor, will serve us well for the long term.
Yeah, and it is long-term health. It's not just about what we do now. It's the same when we're talking about menopause. It's like what we do now sets us up for the rest of our life. And we've got so many years ahead of us. And why not make them our best years, We don't need to be dealing with these pesky pelvic floor issues that hold us back and choosing different colored gym leggings because we're worried we're going to have a little accident. So let's make it our best, Kylie.
Absolutely. So, just for those of you who haven't heard my story previously, so I had 3 vaginal births of 3 very large babies, and, I did all the Pilates beforehand, all the Pilates afterwards, but, it still wasn't enough. And, I sort of recently, for those who are following along on Instagram, did the Larapinta Trail. And that was a big issue for me was, it was freezing cold. So, and there's no toilets. So it was bush wheeze. I also had my period at the same time. It was freezing. So the thought of like digging under all those layers to go to the toilet and do a bush wee was, it wasn't that, and it was pouring rain as well. So it wasn't the easiest thing to navigate at the time, but but I really felt it, and I couldn't go a whole day, and because I'm very conscious of hydrating and drinking water all the time, regardless of the fact that it's cold. So, but I really had this mental struggle between I need to keep drinking water and I don't want to go to the toilet, and for me, like for me, it was the tipping point. It was like, okay, I need to get back and I need to do something about this because this is not okay. I want to do more hikes. I want to do more things, and I don't want this to stop me from doing the things I like. So, I've certainly been having treatment and it's made a world of difference. So, and ladies, just so you know, treatment, it is an internal treatment. So, just be prepared for that because, as my practitioner said, it can come as a shock to some women.
Actually, I was so relieved when I had mine. And thanks so much for sharing that, Kylie, because even knowing all the things I knew, I was still nervous to go and have an internal assessment. But I came out there feeling so liberated and so free, and then layering all of the connection exercises and what I was putting out through my program on top of that. I now don't have to go back and see practitioners. I don't have to go and see the chiropractor. I don't have to go and see the osteopath. So actually, when you make that pathway for yourself, you set yourself up, to save your time, save your money, and you can enjoy the things you love. So I know that I can go and do a jump in the gym. I can run after Olia. I can enjoy all those things, lift up heavy things, knowing that my pelvic floor is not going to be a problem. And if I do feel those little niggles, I know, okay, maybe I need to use my glute ball and do a little bit of release work or do some stretching. So it's so worth it. And if you can just take that leap of faith and love for yourself to go and do that you set yourself up for so many great things on the other side of it.
100%. And it's maintenance. You know, health is the journey, not a
And you also have better orgasms and sex afterwards. So. If that's not a bonus, I don't know what is.
Quite kicked in yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm not married to some young, hot French guy like you are. Sorry, Sean. I know he's not listening. I know he's not listening to this. And yes, you and you're still hot and sexy to me. Oh, funny. Okay, so should we share our news?
Yes, let's do it. We've been waiting. This has been in the pipeline for a long time, and it's so exciting.
It has. So Alex and I, we're very excited to announce we are teaming up, and we are holding a one-day retreat in Noosa on the 7th of October.
Yay!
So, ladies, are you ready for this? So it is open for everyone. You are all invited to join us. It is going to be amazing. We've been putting this together. So it's menopause, gut health, pelvic wellness. So you will have the expertise of both Alex and I for the whole day. And we want it's not just sort of like a nice thing where you come and you sit and you listen. Okay. This is going to be a very transformative event. It's going to give you all the practical insights to help you navigate that menopause transition and the years beyond. So you're going to walk away confidently knowing exactly what to eat, how to nourish your body, how to optimize and engage your pelvic floor and your core function as well. I would love to invite you to our Nourish and Thrive one-day retreat in the beautiful Noosa coming up on Saturday the 7th of October. This menopause, gut health and pelvic wellness retreat is hosted by myself and also by the beautiful Alex Main. Join us for this transformative one-day event which will give you all of the practical insights into navigating this perimenopause and menopause transition so you'll walk away confidently knowing how to nourish your body, optimize your pelvic floor and core function. Hope to see you there.
It's going to be such a good day, such a good day. And it's going to be such a safe space as well. I think that's really important, that you know that you're not alone. If you're experiencing these things, we'll be sharing. And that's what I love about doing these workshops, is that these women just leave on such a high, and that's what we want for you as well. So
yes, we are absolutely to spoil you on this day. We have lots of beautiful sponsors. We have lots of prizes. We have lots of giveaways for all of our ladies who come along. So I will drop the link for that also in our show notes. So kyliepinwell.com/Noosa. And so you get to come and join Alex and I in our backyard, which is great.
So beautiful.
And it's on a Saturday. So we thought, for those of you traveling interstate and even from New Zealand, you can come and spend the beautiful weekend in Noosa. So make a weekend of it. We are all day on the Saturday, but you've got Friday, you've got Sunday to come and play in Noosa.
And they have a fantastic spa there as well. So
oh my God, yes, they do.
Hopefully we can go to that on the Sunday, Kylie.
We could book in a Sunday session at the spa for anyone who would like to join. It just gets better. So as you can imagine, Alex and I we've put a lot of work into this, and we are very excited to be running this retreat for you all on the 7th of October in Noosa. All right, Alex. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Now, you do have a little freebie for us, which is the 10-minute lower back reset routine. So anyone who can feel those niggles in your lower back, and I want you to say goodbye to those and hello to pelvic floor strength.
Yes.
So it's a guide which gives you gentle daily stretches and exercises designed for ultimate relief and support, so you can get back to doing more of what you love doing. So I will pop that in the show notes for you as well. So much goodness today, Alex. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kylie. And I'm so excited for our retreat. I cannot wait to meet all the ladies.
It's going to be great. And yes, either way, you and I are going to have a great time.
We will go to the spa. I'm going to make sure of that.
Maybe we should do the Friday at the spa. Anyway, ladies, if you'd like to join us, you are more than welcome. We would love to have you. The link is in the show notes. And thank you, Alex, so much for coming on the show today. I'm sure this is going to be helpful for a lot of women, just that penny dropping that, ladies, you do not have to push through this. This is not something we suffer through. This is something we take action on.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Alex.
Thank you, Kylie. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. And thanks, everyone, for listening. Bye for now. Thank you for taking the time to listen today. You can head on over to the show notes at kyliepinwell.com/podcast, where you'll find all the links. Now, before we go, it would mean the world to me if you'd head on over to your favourite podcast channel, subscribe and leave a review. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Then stay tuned for next week's episode, and I can't wait to see you then.